Let me start with two real-world examples. First, one for everyone. Klarna is one of Europe's largest online shopping platforms. They deployed an AI customer service agent. In the first month, it handled 2.3 million conversations, cutting resolution time from 11 minutes to 2 minutes, and saving the equivalent of about $120 million per year. This wasn't a chatbot. It decided what information to look up, what actions to take, and how to resolve each case on its own. Second, one for researchers. In 2024, Sakana AI released the AI Scientist, a fully autonomous research agent. It proposed hypotheses, designed experiments, ran code, analyzed results, and wrote complete papers from scratch, including peer review. No human in the loop. Both share one thing: AI isn't just answering questions anymore. It's completing tasks. For the past 7 episodes, you were the one doing things, and AI was your advisor. This episode is about what happens when those roles flip. That's what an agent is. Before we get to how agents work, let's be clear about the problem they solve. The fundamental limitation of an LLM is that it can only generate text. You type, it responds, the entire interaction lives inside a chat window. From that one constraint, 3 specific problems follow. Problem 1, it can tell, but not do. LLM output is always text. It can say, click that button, but it can't click it for you. You still have to go execute every step yourself. Like an advisor who knows exactly what to do, but whose hands don't work. Problem 2, its knowledge stops at the training cutoff. Today's weather, a policy released last week, a paper published yesterday, it doesn't know, because those things happened after training ended. Like an encyclopedia from last year, extremely thorough, but silent on anything recent. Problem 3, every session starts from 0. No memory across tasks. What you did in the last step, your work preferences, where you left off mid-task, none of it carries over. Multi-step tasks can't be chained, and errors can't be self-corrected. These 3 problems are what drove the evolution you're about to see. To understand where agents came from, look at how our use of LLMs has evolved through 3 stages. The LLM itself is just the model, a static brain that takes input and produces text. But the way humans have used it has gone through 3 distinct phases. The first is prompt engineering. The core question, how should I ask? This is what episode 6 covered, giving roles, providing examples, requesting reasoning, specifying output format. This phase gave us chat, you ask one thing, AI answers one thing. You are the executor, AI is the advisor. The second is context engineering. In 2025, AI researcher Andrei Karpathy introduced this concept. Asking well isn't enough anymore, what matters more is what context you bring with you. Like a good assistant who doesn't just read your instructions, but also brings along the relevant files, history, and current state. The core question shifted from, how do I ask, to, what should AI see? The third is harness engineering. In 2026, OpenAI formally defined this, agent equals model plus harness. The harness is the surrounding system, the tool inventory, memory, execution loop, permission boundaries, and error handling. The question shifted again, from, what should AI see, to, how do I design the entire working environment? These phases don't replace each other, they stack. But only at the third stage does AI become capable of completing multi-step tasks autonomously. That's an agent. In practice, agents come in 3 forms, starting with the one you already know. The first is chat. Type a question, get text back, you go execute it yourself. Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, this is how most people use AI today. AI is the advisor, you are the executor. The second is tool-embedded agents. This is where most people first encounter AI doing things for them. Copilot inside Word and Excel, Gemini inside Google Docs and Sheets, Claude plugins inside Office documents, these AIs live inside tools you already use. They know your current document, what text you've selected, and can edit, summarize, or generate content directly in place. The boundary is that application, they don't reach outside it. The third is standalone agents. These aren't limited to a single application, they can work across apps and systems. Two types, screen control agents like Claude Cowork and ChatGPT agent, which read your screen and simulate mouse and keyboard actions, inheriting your login sessions, and command execution agents like Claude Code, Gemini CLI, Codex, and OpenClaw, which run commands directly, read and write files, and can be given precise permission boundaries to keep data entirely local. The starting principle: begin with AI that's already inside the tools you use. That's where the barrier is lowest. Consider standalone agents when you need cross-app automation, or when data sensitivity requires stronger control. Chapter 2 covers each vendor's agent tools one by one. If you're already familiar with these products and want to jump straight to the selection framework, skip to Seg 10. Starting with Google. Google's AI strategy has two pillars: deeply embedding AI into everyday work software, and offering the longest context window in the industry. Workspace Studio is Google's agent layer inside Docs, Sheets, and Slides. It understands your current document and can summarize, restructure, or generate analysis based on your spreadsheet data, all without leaving your Google workspace. Deep Research is Gemini's extended research mode. Give it a topic, and it searches multiple sources, reads them, and produces a long-form report with cited references. Useful when you need to get up to speed on an unfamiliar subject quickly. Gemini CLI is Google's open-source command line agent, launched in June 2025 and available on the free tier. Similar positioning to Claude Code, it can read entire codebases, write code, and run tests, but natively connected to Google's search and tooling ecosystem. Google's standout feature, Gemini 1.5 Pro supports up to 2 million tokens of context. That means you can load an entire regulatory framework, a full code base, or hundreds of pages of research reports, all at once. It's one of the longest context windows commercially available. Microsoft. If your organization already uses Microsoft 365, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, Outlook, this is your lowest cost starting point, because Copilot is already included in your license. No additional spend required. Microsoft 365 Copilot is embedded across all your Office applications. The key update: in April 2026, Copilot's agent mode went GA. It can now execute multi-step tasks autonomously inside Word or Excel, not just answering questions, but actually completing work. Copilot Studio is a low-code platform for building custom agents. IT teams or power users can create their own agents here, define triggers, connect to internal systems, automate repetitive workflows, without writing a full code base. Recall is a feature on Copilot Plus PCs. It periodically screenshots your screen so you can later search in natural language for that report I looked at last week. It's opt-in, you have to explicitly enable it, and data is encrypted and stored locally. Microsoft Standout feature: if your organization already has Microsoft 365, Copilot is already in your license at zero extra cost. For teams with tight budgets, this is the lowest friction entry point into agent workflows. OpenAI. ChatGPT has the largest user base of any AI tool worldwide. It runs in two modes, switchable within the same chat interface. Chat mode is what you already know: you ask, it answers. Agent mode is where it becomes autonomous. Switch to it, state a goal, and ChatGPT plans the steps, searches the web, operates websites, and uses apps to connect third-party services, pausing at each major action to wait for your confirmation. It includes Atlas, a Chromium-based sandboxed browser that lets ChatGPT agents browse and operate websites safely, without touching your main browser. Codex is OpenAI's command line agent for coding tasks. It can run locally, read and write files, and execute tests. Similar positioning to Claude Code. Agent mode requires a Plus, Pro, Business, or Enterprise plan. OpenAI's standout feature, O3 and O4 Mini are currently among the strongest reasoning models available, suited for tasks that require multi-step logical reasoning, legal analysis, math, strategic planning. You can select these reasoning models directly inside ChatGPT agent mode. The open source ecosystem. For organizations that don't want to depend on any single vendor, or that have specialized security requirements, the open source agent ecosystem offers a different path. OpenClaw is currently the highest starred open source agent framework on GitHub, with around 370,000 stars. Its architecture lets you plug in any model, connect any tool, and run everything entirely on your own infrastructure. One important thing to understand up front, OpenClaw's sandbox is off by default. Most people install it and start using it with no execution isolation at all. If you want to use it, you need to handle the security configuration yourself. NVIDIA saw that gap and built NemoClaw, still in alpha. It layers an enterprise security architecture on top of OpenClaw, kernel-level forced isolation, a privacy router that keeps sensitive inference local, and a policy engine that enforces security policies independently, so even if the agent is compromised, the policies hold. It's positioned for enterprises and research institutions with strict data security requirements. Hermes Agent is News Research's open-source agent from 2026, with 144,000 stars, and is designed as the evolution of OpenClaw. It includes a Hermes Claw migrate command for existing OpenClaw users. It brings capabilities OpenClaw doesn't have, an autonomous learning loop that updates its own strategy after each run, cross-session memory so interrupted tasks can resume, access to over 200 models through OpenRouter, and native integration with Telegram, Discord, Slack, and WhatsApp. The open-source standout feature, all data stays entirely on your own devices or servers. No vendor lock-in. You can swap the model anytime. For organizations that need true data sovereignty, this is the only real option. Last is Anthropic, the company behind Claude. Anthropic offers two tools in the agent space, with different positioning. Claude Cowork is a desktop enhancement layer. It directly operates the applications already on your computer, opening Gmail, reading Google Sheets, writing data into Excel, stringing together tasks you'd normally do step by step and completing them automatically. The strategy is to use direct integrations first, and only fall back to screen control when no integration exists. All operations run inside a VM sandbox that doesn't touch your main system. Supports both Mac OS and Windows. Claude Code is a tool for developers. It can read and understand an entire code base, identify issues, write fixes, and run tests. There's a web version you can open directly in your browser, with no installation required. Anthropic's standout feature, Claude supports up to 1 million tokens of context, combined with Cowork's VM sandbox design. That means handling large documents while keeping operations isolated, both conditions at once, which isn't common in commercial services. If you want to see how Cowork and Code actually work in practice, along with the safety principles for using agents correctly, that's all in Chapter 3. We've covered 9 vendors. Now let's talk about how to choose. With this many tools, 3 frameworks can guide your decision. Work through them in this order. Framework 1, start with data sensitivity. This is the hardest constraint, get it right first. Public or low sensitivity data, everyday documents, public research, general administrative work, any mainstream cloud service is fine. Confidential data, personnel records, unpublished research, contracts, choose services with clear data commitments or tools that can run locally. Highly restricted data, information that must never leave your organization, only consider on-premise deployment or self-hosted open source, where data never touches an external server. Framework 2, then ask about task type. Once you've defined the data boundary, ask, what am I actually trying to do? Daily document work, Word, email, presentations, use tool-embedded agents, Copilot or Gemini. Code development, data analysis, batch processing, Claude Code, Codex, or Gemini CLI. Cross-application desktop automation, Cowork or ChatGPT agent. Full control, self-hosted, the OpenClaw ecosystem. Framework 3, finally consider your existing tools. What does my organization already use? Already on Microsoft 365, Copilot is included in your license. On Google Workspace, Gemini is deeply integrated. Want flexibility or need long context, Claude. The correct order: use data sensitivity to draw the hard boundaries first, then use task type to find what you need functionally, then use existing tools to factor in cost. Don't reverse that order. One thing to remember, for most everyday tasks, the capability gap between top models from different vendors has become quite small. What you'll actually feel the difference in is the agent layer, how memory is handled, how deeply tools are integrated, how workflows are automated, how errors get caught and corrected. The agent experience you choose matters more than the model you choose. Chapter 3 is about Cowork and Code, first the differences, then how to use them. Both tools run on the same underlying Claude model. What makes them different is what they can do, how they protect your data, and what plan you need. Cowork is for people who don't write code. It handles everyday computer tasks, organizing documents, responding to emails, filling spreadsheets, cross-app automation, and you can schedule it to run recurring tasks automatically. You describe the goal and walk away. It works, and notifies you when it's done. On safety, Cowork runs in an isolated virtual environment on your computer. It doesn't directly touch your main system. But be aware, it can see everything on your screen. Close any windows with sensitive information before you run it. On access, Cowork is desktop only. You need to install Claude Desktop to use it, there's no web version. For current plan requirements and features, check the official link in the description. Now Code. Code is for people comfortable with computer commands, code, data analysis, batch processing. Before it executes anything, it lists what it's about to do and waits for your confirmation. Code runs directly on your computer by default, so be explicit about which folders it's allowed to access. Code is available on all paid plans, and has a web version that requires no installation. The choice is simple: if you don't write code, you don't need code. Documents, email, spreadsheets, use Cowork. Code and data, use Code. On model selection, Claude comes in 3 versions. Opus is the most capable, for complex tasks. Haiku is the lightest and fastest. Sonnet sits in the middle, handles most everyday work well, and gives you longer usage time than Opus. Start with Sonnet, switch to Opus when things get complex. Finally, some things should never be handed to any agent to complete autonomously: sending external communications, deleting important files, anything involving money, submitting official documents. Think of it this way: you hired an exceptionally capable new person. Give them the keys to the rooms they need, not every room. What can Cowork actually do? 2 tutorial videos show it in action. The Chinese version demonstrates granting access to a folder, then using natural language to consolidate data and generate a PowerPoint report, setting a schedule so it runs a fixed task automatically every day, and using Dispatch to control your computer remotely from your phone. The English version demonstrates turning 6 meeting transcripts into a project tracker and follow-up emails, having it research a market and output a Word report, automatically unsubscribing from newsletters you haven't opened in 3 months, and pulling all recurring charges out of a bank statement. If any of those scenarios interest you, the videos are linked in the description. A few things to know before you start. The first time you set it up, you'll choose a permission mode, ask before acting, or act without asking. For new users, choose ask before acting. It pauses before each significant action. Read those confirmation dialogues carefully. Don't just click allow. Before your first task, run the ACE AI Setup Guide to help Cowork understand how you work from day one. The link is in the description. Once you've built a workflow, save it as a task template so you can reuse it later without redescribing everything. Official documentation is linked in the description. What can Claude Code actually do? 2 videos show real examples. The first is Arduino development. 2 tasks. First, make the LED on pin 13 blink. Claude Code wrote the Arduino sketch, compiled it, and uploaded it to the board. The LED started blinking. Then, make a NeoPixel rainbow. It generated a color animation program, compiled and uploaded it, and the rainbow appeared on the LED strip. From spoken instruction to hardware execution, no manual steps required. The second is Raspberry Pi IoT control. After setting up an MCP server connected to the Pi, you can give conditional instructions in plain language. If soil moisture drops below 30% and it's not raining, start the irrigation pump. Claude Code translates the language into hardware actions, without you writing a single if-else statement. Full walkthroughs of both setups are linked in the description. Claude Code has 5 ways to get started: desktop app, terminal, IDE, Versus Code or JetBrains, web, and Slack. If you don't write code, the fastest option is the web version. Go to claude.ai/code, sign in, and you're ready. No installation. Developers who prefer the terminal, one command installs it, then type Claude inside any project folder to launch it. After your first launch, run the ACE AI Setup Guide to help Code understand how you work from day one. The link is in the description. A few habits make a real difference when using code. First, explore before you plan before you act. Don't tell code to just go do something right away. Let it read your situation first, confirm the direction together, then execute. Results are significantly more accurate this way. Second, tell code how to verify the result. State the completion conditions clearly, and it will check its own work. You won't have to review every step manually. Third, use /clear when you switch tasks. This clears the accumulated context so code can focus entirely on the new problem. If something has been wrong twice in a row and isn't getting fixed, clearing and starting over usually helps. Fourth, Claude.md. A configuration file you put in your project folder. Code reads it automatically on every launch. Put your working rules and preferences there, you won't have to re-explain them every session. Official best practices and tutorial video links are all in the description.